Hey everyone, welcome to Miraculous Mamas. I'm your host, Liz, the doula, and I'm joined by an amazing co-host today, my sister Koryn.
Hello.
Hello. And we are going to be interviewing an amazing woman who has triplets. I know we have tons of questions from you guys that we're going to ask her. It is Courtnee Novales, and she has triplets. Her Instagram's amazing. Her kids are so cute. But before we get into that, my sister and I are going to chat.
Oh boy. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. We were going to actually talk about sex for a little bit before we talk about triplets. Because, hey, let's face it, that's how triplets are made.
Truth.
Drop the mic. I actually watched this YouTube video the other day. Somebody had sent it to me, and it's like two kids, and the parents are showing their kids. It was probably like a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, like a picture of her ultrasound. And they were so excited. And the little boy was like, oh my gosh, am I going to be a big brother? I'm so excited. And the 7-year-old goes, when did you have sex?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, and it's like, how do you respond to that?
Yeah, for sure. But Koryn, you're somebody who's always been super open with that with your kids as well.
Yeah. Yep. We have he turned 11 today. 11-year-old boy.
Which actually was my first birth I ever saw.
Yep.
My first baby ever being born. I was in the room.
Yep.
Bawling.
Yep. Yep. So he just turned 11 today. I have an 8-year-old girl, a 5-year-old girl, and a 3-year-old girl. So we have a lot of hormones in our home, but it's good. We talk very openly about sex. We just think it's a really important topic to be open with your children about, and not all just the act of sex, but just inappropriate touching and all those things. Cause we just, we live in a world where you never know, and you just want your kids to feel safe and protected, and to know that you're always there for them and they can tell you anything at any time. And so
the best way for them to probably feel safe and protected, well, for you, is probably if they're educated and you know that they can come to you with things.
Right. So we talk very openly about it, but we also have some books that somebody recommended to us. So we have books about sex that are for children that actually start at age 3. And I know some people are like, oh my goodness, that's so young, but it's really not.
Because it's also a lot of science-based.
Yeah,
as well.
It's teaching them. It's teaching them the importance, and as parents, it helps teach parents to the importance of using correct names for body parts. Like, you shouldn't have nicknames. I mean, and if you do, it's fine. I'm not judging. It's just if you think about the safety aspect of it, it's just really a good idea to think about your kids knowing what is a penis, what is a vagina, and where is that located on me, and knowing those things so that if anything happens or whatever, they can be very clear at what happened.
It's just another name of a body part.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
There's nothing
kind
wrong
of get
with
away
those
from
names.
that. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. It's just the truth of what it is.
Right. But they've gotten like a weird connotation, like to say vagina in a sentence. It's like, oh my gosh. And it's like, what? I have a vagina.
Yeah.
Like what's the big deal? But, I think we grew up not knowing that much, I guess, kind of just being taught, don't do it till you're married.
Correct.
And so that leaves a lot for you to figure out on your own and from your friends and from different people. And I think I would love to have my children kind of learn about it from me as well. And, and also to see that in your life, you know?
Well, that's the other thing.
Not to see you having sex.
Right. No.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully that's
I just remember the one time. Remember when Mom and Dad's door was locked?
Yes.
I remember it was just one time, and we just 8.
Assumed, or like, yep.
Because they were in there, not responding. Yeah. And I think I was mad at you and I was trying to tell on you or something. Because you locked me out of the house.
They had some stuff they had to do.
They did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So I think books are a great way because you read them, like we'd read with them at bedtime, and it's something you don't just do one time. You have to remember it's something. It should even be talk at the dinner table or wherever, and just reviewing those books. Like, our goal as parents, we try and go through those books like once a year, because they get deeper and deeper into the depths of like sex and what it's about, and even talking about STDs and like a lot of details of of all those things. So, and it gets more detailed the older they get. So, like with Chris, it's at 11. I mean, it's almost like hard to read that book with him because it talks about everything from like masturbation to STDs and all these different things. But those are all very important topics. I just feel a little more awkward as like a mom talking to my son. So my husband buddy does more of that with him. But I mean, I'm still there, and he's a very open kid, and which is actually good. Like, I'm grateful because I know like he's pretty innocent and just very open. So I feel like that's a good thing. I'm glad
like
that my
you've done
kids,
something right.
Yeah, like they feel open enough to be like, hey, this is bothering me, or like, you know, whatever, you know, something on their body part. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, hey, why is this hurting, or what? Doesn't feel right.
I didn't even know that there was a different hole that a baby came out of until I learned to put a tampon in. Yeah. I thought somehow my baby came out of my pee hole. Yeah. And then my friend Brittany Leonard taught me how to put in a tampon. Yeah. And I was like, holy crap. Yeah. My world is like, before I just thought it was like a hot dog in a bun situation when you have sex. Until I was like 13, 14 years old. I thought it was the hot dog in the bun type of situation. And then my world burst, and I was like, holy crap. Oh, I have a cervix.
I have a cervix. There's a lot more going on in there than I ever thought.
So much more going on. Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what I thought, because a lot of my friends, you know, it was Summer Havrick who taught me how to put a tampon. I was at her house, and she's like, here, hold this mirror, and, you know, went through everything. I'm like,
you holded a mirror? I didn't do that. You hold it. You held. You holded a mirror.
But I mean, I don't remember how I felt about all that stuff, because my friends, two of my best friends in elementary and junior high, started their cycles like really like in third or fourth grade, super young. So they were like really advanced and all that, and knew a lot. And I was like more of like, well, I guess I wasn't really a late bloomer. I was between 7th and 8th grade. So it was probably average. Yeah. But to me, I felt super behind because they had known. So it's like they knew everything. So I just asked them to give me all the details because they knew about the whole womanly cycle stuff.
Right. But, well, and I feel like, I don't know, starting those conversations young is important, because then I feel like then you don't shy away from that in relationships, or those conversations when your friends say something, you're like, oh no, well actually, and you know the truth about things, you know, instead of just randomly what people are telling you.
Yes. There's a lot of, and I mean, there's a lot of information out there that either
what are the books that you guys use?
Oh, okay. I can't even remember the names. It's bad.
She's looking it up.
I'm going to look it up because I don't want to give you the wrong. I think I have the author
tell it to them later.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break to talk about birth control. Getting birth control can be a hassle. The time that it takes you to go to your gyno's office, receiving your new pack on time, and the several phone calls to find out why your insurance is no longer paying for it is absurd. Your birth control should be delivered to you when you need it, where you need it, without judgment, and with your physician available to answer millions of questions you may have. You're not alone in this. More than 20 million women in the U.S. take the pill, and the struggle to receive it is real. It's time to level the healthcare playing field, shall we? For hers.com, it's a new women's wellness brand putting your body back into your control. For Hers is fought for by women, for women, and is helping women across the country get convenient and affordable access to birth control. There's no need to take travel time out of your already busy day. For Hers provides access to licensed doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe you birth control that can be delivered directly to your door. For Hers puts the purchasing power back in your hands, bundling all the costs of receiving your birth control into one low price of $30 and without the need for insurance. No more booking time off work to go to an in-person doctor's appointment, wait in pharmacy lines. Everybody's body is different, so For Hers offers 10 well-known birth control options. And whether you're already taking the pill or have no idea where to start, For Hers will connect you to a doctor online who will help determine the option that will work best for you. Order now. My listeners will get their first month of birth control from forhers.com for just $5 right now while supplies last, and subject to doctor approval. See website for full details. Go to forhers.com/babes. That's FORHERS.com/babes. forhers/babes. Restrictions apply. See website for full details.
Let's keep talking. We'll keep talking.
Well, okay. So another thing about sex that I want to talk about, and just so you guys know, so on the my Patreon page under Miraculous Mamas, there's the tier that's no bras allowed, and we're going to go more into depth on sex there and all the different sex topics. I'm going to have my sister on talking about sex and marriage. I'm going to talk about sex and marriage because I'm doing it now, y'all. Woot woot. Almost every day. Now we have 20 people staying in our house, so we were exhausted last night. But yeah, just also like what's sex like after pregnancy, after babies, and sex over 50. My mother-in-law was saying, you need to talk about sex over 50. Or what about people our age? So if you guys have any questions or there's a topic around that you want us to address, shoot it my way. And I will let you guys know for sure. But so something happened to me the other day that was, I guess, I don't know. I bought condoms the other day and I was just wondering why it was so embarrassing because I went to CVS and then they were buy one, get one half off. So I bought 72 condoms and then the register person was a guy, but then there was like a guy up there checking out.
Yeah.
And the guy up there checking out, like I waited for him to like leave to go up there. So I like pretended I was still looking at something on the aisle, like staring at the register, waiting for it to be empty. And then I go up there and I put 2 big boxes of condoms on the table. And then the person like looks and then like immediately looks up at me to see who's buying them.
Right.
I'm like, why is there that judgment around it? And I also needed to get a card for a first birthday and a baptism card. And then I was like, I like had them and I had to put them back because I'm like, this is just weird if I'm buying all these condoms and then these cards. And I'm like, why does that feel so embarrassing?
I don't know.
Have you bought condoms before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I'm trying to think.
I have no problem buying tampons.
I remember being more
like
embarrassed before kids. Once I had kids, I felt like people are like, yeah, you need those. Like, it wasn't embarrassing anymore. Because it was more like, oh, obviously you're married and having kids. And like, I see what's going on here.
You have a child screaming in your stroller. Right. And you're like, here's condoms.
Yeah, I need these.
I need the value pack, please.
Right. But I think before having kids, I was more embarrassed just because it was like, I don't know. Because I think we care too much about what other people think, obviously, in that moment. Because they don't know your life. So I think I was thinking like, they don't know that I'm like married and like why I'm buying these, and you almost don't want them to
why
assume.
You're buying them.
Yeah, but but in this world today, I mean, there's all sorts of weird things. So you're like,
it's true.
You don't want to.
You're doing it to make balloon animals. You just want them lubed up.
Right. That's it.
Oh my gosh. But I always thought it was like super silly that type of stuff can be really embarrassing.
I know. You know? And it like shouldn't be just because, I mean, who cares what other people think anyway? Like,
but I wanted to be like, oh, I just got married when I bought the condoms. But then I was like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not their business.
Right. It's none of your business. Obviously, I'm sexually active and now this is weird.
Yes.
So, you know.
Right. Okay. I remember the names of those books. Okay.
You didn't remember. You've been Googling it for 5 minutes.
I know, but shut up. The Story of Me. Okay. So there is book 1 that's age like 3 to 5. And then it goes up from there. I'm trying to think. Book 2. It's before I was born. And then there's book 2, which is ages 5 to 8, I believe. And then the next one's not called book 3. It's called What's the Big Deal? And it's book 3. And that's ages like 9 to 11, I think. And then I think they have even another one past that, like for teenagers. Yeah, it's called Facing the Facts. Book 4, Facing the Facts. And that's like for the teen years. I don't know, like 11 to 14 years or something, I think. And I don't know if they have any beyond that. We're not that far yet. So, but yeah, so that's the name of them.
Your oldest kid is officially in the double digits.
I know.
Well, I guess he was 10 last year. Okay, whatever. He's 11 now.
Well, And it's Stan Jones is the author. So if you just look up Stan and Brenna Jones, they have all those books. But anyhow, they start as young as 3. And I just think it's just really important to have some source that just begins to teach your kids the truth about it all. And like Liz said, even just the anatomy and like those things are important. So it's not just about why or how sex, it's teaching them.
Well, I just think it's weird that, like, in all of the science classes, like, maybe we brushed over it, but it was like, I knew my vital organs, I knew all these different things, and you kind of brush over the reproductive system, and it's not. It's how we exist.
Right.
And I think that it needs to not be taboo. You're learning about your body, and I think that that's so important, because the earlier that you learn about that, then I feel like the earlier you learn how to be more in tune with it as well.
And more comfortable.
Like you should definitely be comfortable with yourself, especially during those awkward phases.
Yeah.
When you're growing up. Because I remember when I started my period, it was, I had very heavy periods though.
Oh.
In 8th grade, I would put in a super tampon and a pad and change them between every class.
Yeah. See, I
ended up getting on birth control until I was like 15 or 16. So I was super young the first time I got on birth control.
Yeah.
And, but then I got off and my periods regulared out and.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I remember that. I've never had super heavy. The only time was when I was on blood thinners for 6 months, and that was like awful.
Right.
Awful.
Yeah. But you were on blood thinners because you had a blood clot.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
Right.
It was necessary.
It was.
And that sucks.
Yeah. That's a whole other
super
topic.
Heavy now. So I'm hoping that's the one thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And, I'll like spot for a couple days, and then I'm really heavy for a few days, and then I spot for a few more days. And then like 5 days later, I ovulate and I spot again for a few more days. So I feel like I'm on my period for 2 weeks basically. And it's like, ugh.
Oh yeah. It doesn't feel like you get much break in between.
Not really. Because then like a week after that, I start PMSing.
I was going to say, do you PMS? Because I think for me, that's like the frustrating part, is feeling like, because I feel this, I don't have heavy cycles, but I feel like I barely get, like, I feel like I maybe have like a week where like I feel really good and everything's good. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it's like the next week, it's like you're prepping for the periods and like the PMS is starting, you know, it seems like there's not enough time of just feeling great and having no PMS and being like, oh, I feel like normal.
And I realized though my PMS like really depends on what's going on in my life, because like the last couple months with the wedding stuff, like planning, and then this last month with everything that happened with the podcast, like I just felt like I had to apologize to Vito. I'm like, I'm so sorry that I am a raging bee right now, because just like, you know, I was probably the most stressed out I've ever been in my entire life. And that comes out on the people that you love, which is frustrating, you know, but I would have to be like.
And it affects your cycle.
Put me in check.
I'm going to take a second to talk to you about how getting fit and staying healthy always sounds easier said than done, right? Well, OpenFit is bringing you something new that makes it even easier to never miss a sweat session. Lose the commute to the gym and let the workouts come to you. OpenFit takes all of the complexity out of getting in shape. It's a brand new, super simple streaming service that allows you to work out from the comfort of your living room in as little as 10 minutes a day. Everybody's bodies are different, and OpenFit gets that, which is why it is personalized to your needs with custom tailored original content. There's amazing trainers and classes. It's super simple. You can access it anywhere, anytime. And there's results that you can see. I know I've told you guys how busy my life has been, and that is why I love OpenFit, because even if I can just squeeze in a quick workout, I feel so much better. And I'm always on the go. I've been traveling a lot, and I can just log in from my iPad and my workout is there. OpenFit has changed the way that I work out, and with the code BABES, you can join me on a fitness journey that is personalized just for you. Again, use the code BABES to start using OpenFit for your journey to a healthier life. Right now, during the 30-day challenge, listeners get a special extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit, where you can lose up to 15 pounds in 30 days when you text BABES to 303030. You will get full access to OpenFit, all of the workouts and nutrition information totally free. Again, just text BABES to 303030.
St. John's wort does help me. I know that, I think you said it doesn't.
Yeah, it gave me funky side effects. I don't even remember now. It's been years since I tried. I just remember Mom pretty much because I've struggled.
She's like, take these pills.
Well, here's the thing. I'll just be honest with the audience. I just kind of can be a little bit bitchy, just naturally.
Yeah.
I've got and there's my sister.
Yeah.
So it's not because I'm a mean person. I'm very kind, but I get really moody, and it's really hard for my moods to like regulate, or it has been in the past. But so my mom had said, try St. John's wort. That really does work. And I just remember taking it, and it made me feel really weird. And like, I didn't feel well at all. And I don't even remember exactly what the side effects were. I just remember being like, I'm never taking that again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's so weird. My body seems really weird with herbs though. Like,
okay.
Like some are great and some seem to really affect me. So I'm one of those people that is really intuitive to my own body.
Yeah.
But almost to a fault sometimes.
Right.
Where it's like I overthink things. So
like every little thing you're like, oh, now I'm feeling this way. So I must have. Okay. That's not intuition. That's hypochondria. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm very like I know any little change. I'm very in tune to that. But yeah, no, I mean, that's all getting a lot better. I feel like this last year I've had a year of a lot of healing emotionally, physically, just a lot of things where I didn't realize how much our emotions affect our physical. And I was talking to one of the natural doctors that I work with, said like 90%, like he believes, and he's like, a lot of the research shows that 90% of our health issues and whatnot are from emotional states. And I'm like, I actually would believe that because I didn't realize how much things I actually had to work through in my own life that I thought were good and whatever, and then realized they weren't. And like I've been doing like some group counseling and meeting with other women one-on-one and like just doing a lot of things spiritually and emotionally over the last year that's been like awesome and very helpful and healing. So it's a big part of it, and of your healing is emotional and tapping into those things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's very much true that deep-rooted emotional things manifest themselves physically in your body. Mm-hmm. And I went through that with my eating disorder too. Yeah. You know, I completely messed up my thyroid, my adrenal glands, and I worked with a doctor for 3 years to naturally balance it out because I refused to get on thyroid medication. Right. It just, for me, it didn't seem, I've never wanted to be on something that I have to do for life. Right. Because I believed I would find healing. So
that's like me with my blood clot.
My blood clot.
It was. They said you have to be on blood thinner just your life, and I was like, no, I'm going to find another way. I got some plans.
Right.
I got some plans.
Well, I mean, it is true, and I do feel like it's super important to have those relationships with people in your life that you can be open with, and even then, sometimes it's good to do outside stuff. You know, absolutely. Yeah, I've found that for me. With like business and doula and things like that, seeking outside coaching has helped me a lot because I didn't believe in as a doula, I had a hard time charging people a certain amount, even though it was less than everyone in the community was charging because I didn't see my worth. I didn't see my value. I didn't, and it's like, that takes a lot of time. Like I've been at births for 3 days before, and you have all the appointments leading up to it and you don't, you're on call 24/7 and you definitely have to see your worth and your value
what
in
you're
that.
Bringing to the table. Mm-hmm. And I just want to clarify from what you just said and what I said, like with being on different medication, I'm not anti-medication, and I know Liz isn't either, so I just don't want anybody to feel like we're saying like you can never be on medication.
Oh no,
everybody's
not at all.
Just different. I think some people, I think it's very necessary at different times. So I'm not at all, being like, oh, nobody should be on anything. It's just for me, not. I knew that because of the way my blood clot was and like just my whole story, which I can't go into now, like I knew like that would be totally unnecessary to be on it my whole life. And it doesn't run in my family. And it's not like, I just knew like there had to be other options and things I could do. So I just knew for me, it didn't need to be a forever thing.
A lot of things, like it's always good to ask your doctor and speak to like a specialist. And, obviously like we don't try to give like medical advice on here. It's just sharing experiences and stories because somebody out there can relate to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, I mean, I feel like a part of it too is getting, like we said before, getting in tune with yourself and knowing those things. And there are times where you absolutely don't want to do something, but you have to.
Yeah.
Because that's how you can recover. And people, you know, I know tons of people that they're like, you know what, I'm better with this medication. I'm a better human being. I function better. And I don't, this. Right. Yeah. And it's like, that's awesome that you feel better. That's awesome that you can function better, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I actually had one of my doctors actually said, because I had to be on antibiotics not very long ago. Like I got a UTI and I haven't had one in like over 13 years. I'm like, what's going on? And I was like all frustrated about it. Cause I, excuse me, over the last couple of years, I've been working a lot on my gut health now that we're done having children biologically. I was like, I really need to, cause I've had gut issues and digestion issues. Excuse me. So, I've been working with different people and it was just interesting learning. He talked about how sometimes when your body's, he called it like blocked and switched, like it won't even respond to natural remedies well. And so he's like, sometimes you need those things. And he's like, that's okay. And so he really encouraged me to take the antibiotic. And I was actually really grateful for that because I was kind of like, I don't want to do this. But like it was getting into my kidneys. So I was like, I couldn't stand up straight. My back, I was like, okay, obviously I need to take some. But it was just nice to hear somebody from the natural world though to give more explanation of like right now your body's in like healing mode and it might not be responding well to the natural things you're doing, and like that's okay, and that means you need the antibiotic and you need to take that, and that will help you get better.
Well, I'm good with like in my body, I'm good at preventing. So if I start to barely feel a symptom, I'll take something natural or try to do it naturally. But there's been times where I'm like, it's there. That's what my there. UTI, and then I'm like, okay, I got to get something because
was weird.
This is, because once it's like already fully there, like I feel like, a lot of natural stuff is good preventative.
Right.
You know, but I don't mess around with like allergy stuff. I've tried everything naturally, not everything. I haven't done a lot natural, but my allergies get so bad for a couple weeks out of the year, and I'm like, I'm popping my allergy pill, and I'm gonna feel great.
I'm gonna be able to get out of bed.
I'm gonna function and not feel like my whole face is draining out of my body.
And that's like my UTI. It just came on like there was no symptoms like at all. It was like one night I started realizing like I was getting up a lot to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I'm not feeling good, and by that morning I was like, I totally have a UTI.
That's the worst.
And I tried doing natural stuff for like 2 days, and then 2 days in, I should have gotten antibiotics sooner.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, okay, let me just do these things. But no, it got really bad. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
That's the worst. I know that we've talked about like a million different things right now, which I'm going to have my sister on more because she's somebody that I just look up to and absolutely love. And she's an amazing mama and does so much for her kids. So, and she's been through a lot.
I have a really weird, I feel like I kind of have just a crazy roller coaster story.
She does. Each one of her births were so different.
And health issues.
And
everybody does. I don't want to sound like, I'm
absolutely.
not any.
But that's like the point of this too, is like to just share these stories. Yeah. And because somebody out there's like, oh my gosh, I've been there too.
Yes.
I know. Like,
because sometimes you do feel alone. Like that's why I would love to share more, because I felt very alone a lot of times when I was in some of these seasons of sickness and newborns and whatever, and felt very alone because nobody around me did understand. Like I was asking people around me, like, have you ever experienced this, or have you? And no, like nobody. And so I felt very, very alone. So I think it's really important to talk about all these things so moms can go, oh my goodness, I'm not the only one, because it can be a very lonely place.
I'm going to take a minute to talk about something that everybody struggles with. We all go through phases in our life where maybe you just need to talk to somebody who isn't a part of your life. You need that outsider's perspective, whether you're dealing with a family conflict or grief, relationships, sleeping, trauma, stress, depression, any of that. And sometimes those things, they interfere with your happiness, and it could be preventing you from achieving your goals. Well, BetterHelp Online Counseling is there for you. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment, and it's so convenient. Get help on your own time and at your own pace. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, plus chat and text with your therapist. There's licensed professional counselors who are specialized in all the areas that I was talking about, and anything that you share is totally confidential. If you're not happy with your counselor for any reason, you can request a new one at any time. There's over 3,000 U.S. licensed therapists across all 50 states, and it's available to you worldwide. You can text, chat, phone, or video, and start communicating in under 24 hours. You can access it from your desktop, mobile web, your phone, scheduling video and phone sessions, generally weekly, unless your therapist schedules more. There's so much broad expertise in the network, which may not be locally available in a lot of areas. Financial aid is available for those who qualify. It's secure, confident, professional, and it's so affordable. Babes and Babies podcast listeners get 10% off your first month with discount code BABIES. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/babies. Simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor that you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/babies. That's also, I guess, why we're having this mama with triplets on today, because there's people out there who maybe just found that they're pregnant with multiples and they're like, how am I going to do this? And how is this going to work? And how am I going to be able to take care of 3 babies? Plus maybe I have other kids, plus my partner, plus myself, so I'm super excited to get Courtnee on. And you guys, let's hear from Courtnee. All right, guys, we have Courtnee Novales here. We're going to ask her all about that triplet life. And first of all, like, me and my sister are in like messy buns, and you look so gorgeous.
I know, we're like, she looks beautiful.
I'm like, your face popped up, and I expected to see like you have triplets. Like, how did this happen?
Right?
I work very, very quickly and utilize a nap in the morning time to get this done. And it's only because we're going to go out later, because I forced myself to go out with them. So this is the only reason why I'm not joining you in the, mom bun and yoga pants. Believe me, I normally wear that life.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, I have no excuse.
No.
You do. You've been under some stress lately.
I have. We had our wedding, and then we're having a reception in Chicago, and then heading on our honeymoon. And we have like, I have like 20 people staying at my house today. Yes. So
yeah, no, marriage is like that newlywed phase is so stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's exciting. Thank you so much for doing this with us today and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're super excited to hear your story. And I sent you a bunch of the questions that people ask, and you're like, these are the questions that I get all the time.
Yeah.
So like, I guess when you're like, oh yeah, I have triplets. Well, first of all, do you have other kids or just the triplets?
So we have a 7-year-old son, and then we have the girls. So 4 kids in total.
Okay.
That's so much
fun. That's all girls.
No, 7-year-old
all
son.
girls, yeah.
But the triplets are all girls.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess, like, what is people's first reaction when you tell them that?
They kind of just do a double take and say all at one time, or do they have I've gotten some funny questions like, do they all have the same birthday? And it's like, yeah. They do. It takes a couple IQ points off everybody for a little while.
Right. You're like, wait a second. Am I being punked right now?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess, tell us, a little bit about how you got pregnant and how you found out that you were having triplets.
So once we had decided that it was time to build upon our family, for some reason, kind of unknown, we just kind of went through some secondary infertility issues. Yeah. And it was really surprising to us because our son was not really even any effort whatsoever to conceive him. So I definitely saw a new perspective on couples who are suffering through infertility, and it's a ride. It's a roller coaster. And I think it's really, you condemn yourself as a woman, like what's happening, especially second time around. What am I doing wrong? And so we did eventually, after a year of trying on our own, we sought out specialists, went through the regular tests and workup. Nothing wrong with my husband, nothing wrong with me. Just for some reason, we were having challenges. So the first path that we did was through IUI, which the intrauterine insemination. And we did about 3 rounds unsuccessfully. And so it was our 4th try, and we were looking down that pathway for IVF. Fortunately, we didn't have to. And that last IUI stuck. Yeah. And with some hormones and things to keep the pregnancy healthy, we were able to sustain a pregnancy and keep it held. I did get pregnant, but they just didn't last very long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like you don't hear too much about IUI. You hear just more about IVF.
Right. And, who knows, because that's the question that you get a lot with triplets. Are they natural?
Right.
Well, they're not robots.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you mean? You're asking me a really intimate question. And I think, I give a lot of forgiveness to people because they just don't have any clue that, you've gone through this incredible journey that's been very hard and painful and self-doubting. And then people want to know those intimate details, just like while they're passing out, your lunch at a restaurant or something. Yeah. So it takes a minute.
Yeah, that would be really hard. I liked your response though. They're not robots.
That's funny.
Yeah. And it's a trigger question for a lot of multiple moms, What is natural? I mean, a baby was formed. You're going to ask a singleton mom that question?
Right. Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. And I mean, and you carried them and you gave life to them for months in your womb, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see how that would definitely be a trigger question kind of.
Yeah. But we're so blessed that we were able to go through that. And I don't regret anything for a second.
Yeah. So how was your pregnancy then with them?
Our pregnancy was good. Our girls are all fraternal. So it was best case scenario for triplets. It was 3 sacs and 3 placentas. So that's like the number one, least amount of problems to occur, they should say. At least I was told with my specialist. So that was ideal. And they, in fact, came out all fraternal, all different. And I think that provides its own little challenge because people see 3 different colored hairs and different eyes. And they think, these are triplets.
Right.
And I was able to carry them all the way up to 36 weeks in a day.
Yeah.
So that was to term. It surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah.
And I think even my obstetrician was quite surprised.
Mm-hmm. During the pregnancy, did you have morning sickness? Was carrying them? I mean, I don't know anything about multiples really. So.
Yeah, no. And I'm still learning, so don't worry about it. I did get morning sickness. In fact, that's what prompted me to take a pregnancy test, because it was like almost a week exactly after insemination where I woke up in the morning time and felt this wave of nausea over me. And I thought, this is weird. And, airproof tests, I know exactly why they can claim that they can show a result prior to your period. And at least for me, I can speak for me, that was because I was having multiples and my hormone levels were off the charts. And so that was our first indication, just through blood work alone, that there was probably more than one inside.
Yeah. Wow. That's so amazing though. I always say I want to have twins, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen. So I feel like you're such a good candidate to like talk to us about this, because you have the experience of raising your son. So you knew what it was like doing it with one. And then now you know what it's like doing it with 3. So how old are your girls now?
They are 16 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're so cute too. I was stalking your Instagram and it was giving me a little bit of the fever.
Yeah. They are cute and their personalities are really coming out now. So I have to apologize to my husband a little bit more because one of them's a dead ringer for my side.
Oh my gosh. You're like, and I'm getting everything back.
Yeah. She walked into the bedroom this morning and he was still sleeping. And the first thing she said was, "What?
What?" Oh my gosh. That's so cute. So I guess like a lot of the questions that people want to know then is like, how do you do it?
Well, I definitely attribute a lot of my successes to having my son, Michael, first. That was, I still say to so many moms who ask, that is the hardest, baptism by fire into motherhood. Your first, I mean, that's your guinea pig for you and for your child. You're just learning how to survive. And much of what we went through with that were the hardest parts of motherhood, I feel like I went through with my first. And so the multiples kind of, it's their own tricky, but my son first really made me have a new perspective.
Yeah. Is he just loving being a big brother now?
He does, yes. He was very involved with the girls and with the checkups and seeing the pictures, and so there wasn't any issue with sibling rivalry before they arrived. He was really proud to become a big brother, and I realize now that he knew we were trying for more babies, so he saw the ups and the downs with that, maybe crying after I had told him that I was pregnant and then it didn't stick. And that was hard for our whole family. And so he's way more mature than I could ever find, that I could ever believe in for a 7-year-old. So I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break for me to tell you about the revolution in online furniture shopping, and it is Joybird. They are an amazing company. They believe that you should never settle when it comes to your home furnishings, and that you should always have the freedom to be boldly original. From idea to reality, they empower you to create the space and furniture that brings you joy. And I actually used Joybird in my new home. Vito and I have this amazing master bedroom, and I wanted to put a couch in there to kind of make this cute little cozy corner, and I found the perfect couch on Joybird. I got to pick out the style I wanted, the fabric, everything. With Joybird, you get one-of-a-kind furniture made to your unique taste. And that's what I got to do. I kind of like this modern, chic, yet a little rustic vibe going on. And they have such a wide range that I was actually able to find the perfect couch. And I worked with one of their free personal design consultants to help nail that down for me. They have quality handcrafted furniture. Each Joybird piece is made by hand with care and precision using high quality hardwood and responsibly sourced materials to fit your exact specifications. You also get a limited lifetime warranty included. You have a 365-day home trial. Skip the furniture store and bring the showroom home. Sit on it, sleep on it, break it in. And if you don't love it, return it for a full refund. Hassle-free in-home delivery. They'll even remove all the packaging and materials. See how Joybird is revolutionizing online furniture shopping. Create the furniture that brings you joy today at joybird.com/babes. Go to joybird.com/babes and receive an exclusive offer for 25% off of your first order by using the code BABES.
So what was, I guess, like your journey with entering into the motherhood with triplets? So you had them, did you go into labor at 36 weeks one day, or did they need to induce you?
So my pregnancy really was great. I was taken off of work around 24 weeks and then just told to stay home and to rest. I'm a nurse by career. And so it was nice to get off the feet and to not have to find scrubs that would fit me, because I was full-blown pregnant size for a singleton at 24 weeks. So it was hard. And then we made it through to 35 weeks and just short of a couple days before we delivered. And I wasn't feeling great. I was admitted in for observation. So I didn't have technically bed rest the entire pregnancy, which is great, because that was one of my biggest fears. First off, was some women who have multiples, they spend a large majority of their pregnancy in a hospital bed and totally isolated and confined. We were really fortunate that wasn't the case. And my specialist really wanted to have me wait up until 37 weeks, which we got in a little bit of a medical spat, I should say, about how long that really was going to, if that was going to happen. And the nurse and me kind of took over, and I had some fighting words with my specialist because I was in a lot of discomfort, and that means pain. It was really painful. And so luckily, one night in the hospital before the girls were born, I just had some writhing pain. And sure enough, they were contractions. I had a previous C-section with my son.
Yeah.
So it was known that I was going to have a C-section with the girls, but I did labor. And they came on the exact day that I said, they're going to come out on this
really?
day. Yeah.
That's so crazy. How'd you know they were going to come out on that day?
I don't know. I just felt like that was their birthday. It was a day before, my husband and I, we started dating in high school. So then the following day was our anniversary day. So I said, that day's going to be kept by itself. And this is going to be a new special day. And it's going to happen the day before, we met, what was 16 years prior.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah, my obstetrician didn't listen to me, and it ruined his whole entire schedule.
You're like, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, no, not sorry.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So when they were born then, knowing that you're having triplets, you have some time to prepare for it.
You do, yeah. And I was hesitant. I mean, I think during the whole pregnancy, you kind of go through a state of shock. This is really happening. And then it gets comfortable enough to where you can breathe. Okay, you've made it past a certain week of survivability, because every single week, it feels like you're being kind of told something negative. And okay, we have this obstacle. You're the one that the office schedules more time with, and you get ultrasounds every single time because there's no way to do a Doppler for 3. So, a bit of my pregnancy, it was just kind of holding my breath until the end, and really not knowing when they were going to come, if in fact they got to come home. Many of our triplet moms that we've connected through social media share lots of NICU and neonatal intensive care unit time with their children. So they've been born for months before they ever got to take even one home.
Wow.
And we were really, really fortunate. Only one of the 3, our middle one, our baby B, Olivia, she was born just slightly under 4 pounds and just kind of needed to be a feeder and grower. She had just initially some issues keeping her blood sugar at a appropriate level and needed some intervention. But short of that, Dorothy, my firstborn, and Catherine, the baby C that came out last, they went straight into my room right after delivery. Yeah. So I experienced twins for a brief moment.
Yeah. That's so cool though.
Yeah.
And then bringing them home, did you have help at all, or did you do it all on your own?
So, my husband, he is a physician and he works out of state every other week. So it's just complicate things even more in our life. So the day I was discharged, which was Halloween, he had to go back to work out of state. So he brought the 2 girls and I home with my son, and I didn't have any plans. I didn't set up for a sitter. I didn't set up for anything. I was just kind of shocked that this was happening. I was going to bring a baby home. I wasn't going to be dealt the worst cards. And luckily, my parents who live in town with us, they could see that this is a kind of an unusual stance for me because I'm very much a planner. And they just decided to move in straight with us. So my mom came in, my dad shared a bunk bed with my son, and my mom slept in my master bedroom with me. We had an arm's reach bassinet for the 2 girls, and we were assigned a baby. I was assigned Catherine, she being she's who I named my firstborn after Dorothy. So she had Dorothy, and we just said, okay, it's my baby. And we, twin fed, and we, just made it through that first week while my husband was away, and we were surviving with the twins.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine trying to do it without any help,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then that lasted for, I want to say, about 2 months, where he would go away. They would come in and live with us. It was great. I have 3 sisters, and we all live in the same town. So they would come over and visit. My in-laws also live in town, and bringing more family in, you never really realize how much family can just be that saving grace from that, tipping point. I can't imagine how there's families out there that do this all on their own, and they're away from family. So it was definitely welcomed having somebody just watch the babies while you took a shower. You're so grateful for those moments.
Yes.
Yeah, I have quite a few friends who have taken jobs like out of state and moved somewhere where they have no family and they have kids there. And I'm just like, wow.
How do you do?
Right. Yeah. It's, I don't have my side of the family around, but my husband's whole side lives here. So we have a huge support system, but my mom and my sister already know, like, when I have a kid, I'm like, you're coming to live with me for a little while.
Right. Yeah. It was great. They left stuff there. It was just, that was their house. It was, even though they were just probably about 15 minutes down the road from us in their own house, it was just nothing better than having grandparents there so that I could keep some normalcy and take my son to school if I needed to. Yeah. And because he was in kindergarten at the time. And then my father-in-law was really instrumental in getting me updates about Olivia. He also is a physician, and he worked in the NICU. Wow. I knew that there was always going to be family with her. And I think it was a blessing because he got me all the information I needed, took me to see her when I just wasn't feeling well to drive. And she was only in the NICU for 2 weeks in total. So the week following, she came home.
Yeah. And so I'm going to go over some of the questions that a lot of people asked.
Yes.
So when one of them would wake up, would all of them wake up?
I was very fortunate. Even still now, they're really deep sleepers.
Nice.
And so no, they very rarely would they wake up. Even just before I came on, Olivia was unsettled and was crying, and the other 2 are knocked out. I attribute a lot of that to, we used a sound machine I brought it into the hospital. So they've never been without a sound machine.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I think it's nice when you set kind of a routine for them. So then they hear that, they're like, okay, it's sleep time. This means that it's time to go to bed.
Yeah. I can't sleep without it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering too, if there's something like in the womb, since they're all in there together, if they're like, I need to sleep right now, and the other one's moving around and kicking, and they're just like, whatever, I need to sleep right now. Yeah. So they might be used to each other,
Right. Right.
That's so funny. Is there anything about being a mom of multiples that is easier than you expected?
They socialize with each other. Like right now, it's really easy because they socialize, and they're on the same schedule, so they all eat at the same time, and that's really key. Is just having them all on that same schedule.
Yeah.
We all take naps at the same time, whether they're tired or not, and they all eat, and so they interact, and that's really nice because I don't have to entertain everybody usually.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people ask, how do you get things done? Like going to the grocery store with triplets. How do you grocery shop with 3 little girls?
This isn't a plug, but Walmart pickup has saved my life.
You know what? You're the second person to tell me that in the last week.
Yes. If you're not doing it, even as a singleton mom, you should start. And it's so nice to have the app. I actually get what I need. I'm not frazzled. I couldn't even imagine. I've only gone in the grocery store once with the kids. And I think I forgot half my things just because we're such a spectacle. and Instacart for Costco. So my life is set on those deliveries. My neighbors probably think there's something wrong with me, with the frequency of just the deliveries and then timing it with Instacart.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah, I do feel like those things are becoming lifesavers. A girlfriend of mine in Vegas has 2 kids, and she said she uses Walmart pickup all the time. She's like, it's so easy. You just do your order, go pick it up. You don't have to take the kids out, you know?
No, yeah, it's great. And then the staff there know my kids and know my car. So they want, show us the pictures of Halloween. What did they dress up as? So it's really become like this nice community because you're so isolated for so many good reasons.
Right.
But it is hard for you as the adult who wants that attention too.
No, absolutely. So a lot of people are asking, I guess, about breastfeeding at all. Was that an option for you with the triplets or not really?
I definitely tried in the beginning, coming home with twins. But with my son, I exclusively breastfed, up until about 9 months where it wasn't, he went to daycare and things just were harder to do. With the girls, I kind of had a more laissez-faire attitude of, the fed baby is the only goal at this moment, and that's okay. And
absolutely.
Just to give myself, that breather, because the moment they come out, it becomes very clinical and very sterile in the medical community. They have to test their blood sugar. They're giving them a bottle. It's not asked upon you. This is what we're doing to make sure babies are healthy, babies are kept alive, because they were technically a couple weeks short and made them late preterms. So right away, you kind of relinquish that. I do know lots of moms through social media who have been able to do exclusive breast milk through pumping, and they were just able to get those reserves up. For me, it became a point where I was supplementing. And my son, who had come home, was hungry and needing to get dinner on the table. And it was just one of those times where I was left alone for that period, nobody to be around. And it was around 3 months where I couldn't feed all my children appropriately. And that's when I needed to intervene, go, okay, what makes best sense for the family? And if mom's not happy, nobody is happy.
Yeah.
So we just need to give ourselves as women and new moms that break and that reprieve. The fed baby is the only goal.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you touched on that too, because I've had so many conversations with mom that carry so much with mom guilt over that. And you hit the nail on the head when you said, if mom's happy, everybody's happy, because when you're feeling your best in your mom role, like your kids are going to pick up on that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you have to be there for them. And it's a little indulgent to feel like, this is what society and this is what everybody expects of me. I have to do this. Well, you know what? You're going to cuddle differently when you're not stressed. You're going to omit that feel good vibes that make that happy household. And if that's done through a bottle or breast, hats off to you, but that needs to be the priority.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So a lady on here commented, she said, I have twins and I struggle when I have to pick them up from daycare and have to carry them to the car. How do you do it with triplets?
Well, I'm really, really fortunate that with my son being in kindergarten at the time and now first grade, they have a very nice drop off and pickup lane. I don't have to get out of my car unless I want to. So just like the groceries, they load him in, he gets out by himself, he can buckle up. And that is like worth the tuition in itself.
Yeah. What about
when the girls go to daycare, that's going to be a bit tricky. So I'm going to have to figure out.
What about just when you take the 3 of them somewhere where you have to get out,
So, like I said, only reason why I'm sporting makeup and my hair done right now is because we force ourselves to get out into the public, because it's really hard when we're not used to being that spectacle. And I mean, we're just the freak show that's walking through, a restaurant restaurant. We have all these babies. I make it a purpose to have them matching so everybody knows it's not a daycare, it's their sibling.
I love that.
And so we load them up in we have a Keen's wagon stroller that works. We do have another triplet stroller, but it's quite large, so that's harder to get in, kind of inconspicuous with restaurants. And it's just assembly line. Here's one baby, my husband buckles them in. Here's the other baby, buckle in, and then we go. And we walk with purpose because people want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm sure. When you made the comment about like, oh, here's the freak show, whatever, like, do you really feel that way when you're walking around with your triplets?
I am more of an extrovert than my husband. My husband's way more introverted than I, and he has a hard time dealing with the head turning and the looking. We recently went out to a restaurant during lunch, and the entire time we had a family of 4 stare at us, and it was really uncomfortable for him. And I felt bad because I just grew up in more of a family where we had 4 girls, and my mom, even though we were different ages, my mom dressed us all alike. I don't know if you and your sisters had that where you were matching outfits, but it was very much for us. So I've grown up used to that, wearing the exact same as my older and younger sister, sitting in that front row at church, and having people turn heads when we walked into a public place. Yeah. He didn't grow up in that type of circumstances. So yeah, sometimes I feel like we are a bit of a freak show because people want to know. And so then they go for those really intimate questions right off without even thinking about it.
Right.
And you have to be quick-witted. I'll have somebody say, how did you get triplets? And depending on your mood and what you just dealt with screaming wise at the kids, it's like, well, we did it doggy style. We got a litter.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
That usually stops somebody right away from asking any more questions.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. You are so funny. Oh my gosh. If I ever get pregnant with multiples, I'm stealing that line.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if you're really rocking a bad mood, which is totally appropriate, you could say that you were a total B and you got a litter. So
right. That's true. You can say that too. Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
That wards off that stranger who wants to ask.
You're just dropping some mad tips to people with multiples who are like, oh my gosh, right. I'm still in that.
Yeah. Go for it.
A lot of people are also wondering, do you ever sleep, or how do you get sleep?
I do get sleep. And luckily with the routine, I bought all the books. So, yes, I have tons of books on my bookshelf. Did I ever have time to read them? No, I had time for Netflix and Game of Thrones or something, but I didn't read all the books.
Right.
I do recommend Dr. Harvey Karp, who with my first one had suggested the 5 S's. I think that really works well, at least for my children. Yeah. That's all I can attest to. But the sound machine, the getting routines for my multiples, for the girls, I wasn't able to rock everybody to bed. It was this is bedtime. The sound machine's on. The lights are off. There's no distractions. They sleep in darkness. There's no night light. And binkies in mouth, everybody down, mom walks out the room. They give it a good cry out. Now I can do it. And within 5 seconds of that door shutting, they know this is bedtime. And if they stir something longer than usual, I'll go in and check it, see if maybe there's a dirty diaper that was missed. But it's all consistent and it's routine for us. And that's provided the sleep. It's not without its sacrifices, because starting at 4 o'clock on for us, that's our routine. So we don't go out in public places. We don't go to dinner. We've had to tell friends and family, nope, sorry, come over to our house if you don't mind me being gone for 30, 40 minutes while I put the kids down, then come over. But that's our new normal. And it's worked because we've been able to get those longer periods of sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like you would have to develop a routine.
Yeah. The routine is really key for you and for them, and it's just don't waver. And we've had success with that. I know moms who haven't had it, and I think it's really just child dependent. I really don't think there's anything we do better or right compared to others. Mm-hmm. It's just we've been fortunate and blessed. Maybe I've been too exhausted to hear them wake up. I don't know. Pretty light sleeper though. I'm a pretty light sleeper.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, otherwise you definitely would not get any sleep. And I mean, you had mentioned before that they sleep pretty soundly, which is awesome.
Yeah, they do. And then, taking upon yourself to take those naps when you just need them, even still up to where they're 16 months, I'll sneak in a nap in the middle of the day if I really need to. Happy mom, happy household. That's really where it's at.
Right. Yeah. There was people who was asking if you did sleep train or anything like that because they're curious. A lot of people honestly just want to know like how you do it as a mom. Like we know that mom life can be difficult. Sometimes you feel very isolated. Sometimes you feel enslaved to it. And especially having 3 all at 16 months, you're in that phase 3 times over. You're changing 3 times the diapers in that phase. You're, chasing 3 times as many kids.
And on top of that, you still have the housework, the cooking, the cleaning. I mean, all those things as well.
Yeah. Right. So I do have a housekeeper that comes every other week. And I had that before the multiples, but that was kind of like the set rule. Like, mom can't spend all Saturday cleaning for, 6-8 hours and expect to, go out afterwards and feel happy. Yeah. So that was something that we budgeted for, and that's set.
Yeah, that's good.
But you do have the housework and, just to keep up maintenance. I have 2 dogs and they chef. That's it. We're not getting any more dogs. We're done with little things that mom has to keep alive. Yeah. So you just become routine and make up a schedule. I know what we're having for dinner before I go to bed at night the previous day, and just push yourself to not take that break. Do unload the dishwasher when you have a moment, because the dishes will stack up. Just things to make your life. And I don't know if I'm just a little bit more OCD than the average, but
she can relate.
There's something to that though. I was like reading, I don't remember if it was a book or an article, but talking about the importance, they talk about how tidy people keep their house clean. And it's really just what you said, like just the little things. Mm-hmm. Just little things difference. And then you get to the day and you're like, holy cow, disaster. So
like for the girls. The girls' room, I always put the toys away after the nap time. So they're going to go back to the toys and it's going to keep making a mess, but they can make a huge mess if I just let it lapse all the way through the day, and it takes even more time to clean it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Laundry every day. That's the life. It's just the dishwasher runs every day. The laundry runs every day. I don't always fold the clothes the same. So I allow myself some allowances. My next dryer, I'm going to see how many loads it can hold and high clothes.
Right.
A little bit more. So there's some allowances that you keep the facade.
Yeah. What would you say, I guess, is your favorite part of being a mom of triplets?
For me, well, it's everything about being a mom, but it's kind of just amplified, it's that then all 3 saying mama, around the same time. And so it's all 3 of them now running up and giving hugs. So it's all those special little tiny moments, but you get them kind of redundant over and over and over again. And it just kind of knocks your heart, even more intensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're like a superhero then. They're like, Mom, oh.
Yeah. It's fun seeing them walk to the door and give my parents and my in-laws hugs all at once. It's great to see that.
Yeah.
They're starting to hug each other, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
That's cute.
And then I guess my last question is, what is your advice for someone who has multiples or is just finding out, I'm pregnant with triplets? How am I going to do this?
One day at a time.
Yeah.
When I first found out, I think everybody's different. When I first found out that I was having triplets, my biggest concern in that whole day, I didn't sleep that night, and my biggest concern was what kind of stroller I'm gonna buy. That was like my biggest concern. And for me it was, how are we gonna be mobile? How am I gonna not make this, totally paralyze me? Because in some ways, and I don't mean to offend anybody here, but it's a little bit of a not disability, but you're differently abled at that point. Life will never be the same. It's not a singleton. Unfortunately, there's very few people that can relate to you in your physical world. Now, social media has been great because I've been able to finally bring that normalcy back into my life by reaching out to other triplet moms and having our own little secret, society. And we have private pages that, you have to prove and verify that you are in fact the triplet mom to be invited to this Facebook group. And it's great because, it's like Fight Club status. What you say stays in there.
Yeah.
You have people who are experiencing the exact same issues. And so you're not alone. And that is the breath of fresh air. So if you are a mom of multiples finding out for the first time, I would say, in hindsight, don't worry about that stroller. There's tons that are out there. Go and find that social media, find that you're not alone and get involved, because somebody in there is a couple months ahead of you or weeks ahead of you and can tell you what they've already researched. And it's this nice domino effect of good information. And when a new stroller comes out that can fit 3 kids, you know about it, man. That spreads like wildfire. So you'll know which diapers are the cheapest and the most absorbent. And you kind of become this mom guru. And that's what I try to do. And that's my aim and goal for my Instagram page is I want to spread that community of you're not alone, whether you're a singleton or you're, a triplet mom or quad mom. You have this community you can tap into. It's not insurmountable and it can be fun, and we all need to support and enjoy it, because it's only going to be this part for just today, and tomorrow's going to be different, and they grow up so fast.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I guess if people want to follow your journey and connect with you, where can they find you at?
So we changed our handle a while ago, but I'm at Raising Triplets on my Instagram. And that's really where I give more information and update, and you can ask questions. I love giving resource. I love making those connections. I've made my best friends that I've never met in person. My mom friends are online.
Yeah.
Still learning and going through that journey to find a mom friend physically. It's a little intimidating when you pull up to the playground with the stroller. I am my own play group, but we're getting there, and I'm excited to finally get a mom friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's going to happen for you. If anybody is listening to this, follow her, and maybe you live in the same area and you can be mom friends. Thank you so much, Courtnee, for coming on and for sharing with us and being a part of this group with us. And I look forward to sharing your story, because I'm sure, even if you're not a mom of multiples, you just gave so much information and non-judgment of, hey, mom's happy and the kids are fed and that's great, and it was just awesome hearing from you, because you just have such an amazing mentality on it. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, motherhood's the best, best part of our journey, I feel, as a woman. And, it's really a sorority of women who can empower each other to get through some of the toughest challenges we're ever presented.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you so much for letting me share.
Yeah, of course. And we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. She is an amazing woman.
Yeah. She's rocking it with triplets.
Oh my
goodness.
Sure. Oh my goodness. I do want kids, and I do want multiples. And Vita always says, if we have multiples, I hope that we have them first so that we don't know any different.
Yeah.
But I also loved what she said about her son kind of introduced her to momhood, and that she was able to have that adjustment with him and learn the ropes kind of with him before having multiples,
I think either way, it's all good,
Mm-hmm.
Either you get thrown right in it and you learn a lot really quick, or you start with one, but you're learning with the one, and so that you can be prepared for multiples. Either way.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that you guys just got a lot out of the story. She is absolutely amazing. I'll leave the link. I'll be posting it on the Instagram for her information so that you guys can connect with her and find her. I am going to be starting the Facebook page soon. By the time this message comes out, it may be started. I'm not sure. But also don't forget to check out the Patreon page. That's where there's going to be additional birth stories. There's going to be mantras on there for you. That is a mantra for mamas, just to help you get through your weeks. And also half of the money that goes from the Patreon is given to women in need around the world. So don't forget to check that out, to subscribe. Any amount helps women. And also, if you love this podcast, share it, give me a 5-star rating, and make sure that you're subscribed. And also don't forget to let me know what you guys want to hear, and send me the people that you want to hear from, because that's important to me to get that for you guys. I'm very passionate about doing this. I love you guys so much. I'm thankful that Courtney came on. I'm grateful. I had my sister here.
Thank you.
I can hear her kids yelling in the hallway now.
It's lunchtime here.
Which means it's time to go. But we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.